So this is the 1958 AMI-I. AMI stands for Automatic Musical Instrument Company, and it was an absolute design classic. It's modelled on a car called the Plymouth Fury, which was a superb American classic car from the 1950s. We love them because they're so striking, and we've made a bit of a name for ourselves in restoring these jukeboxes. We must have restored nearly 100 by now over the last 10 or 12 years. We've been really focusing on this model. I spent a lot of time in America finding these jukeboxes. There are very few of them left. It's probably in the low thousands, and they're very highly sought after. And we bring them over here back to the UK and fully restore them and refurbish them, as you can see, back to near as damn it new. So to take you through a little bit of what we do, we take everything apart, and the metal parts come off completely. They get sent up to London and they're re-chromed. So that process involves them being shot blast back to the bare metal, taking away any rusty or decayed parts, and then they're repaired, and then they are nickel plated, copper plated, and then chrome plated. So quite an involved process, so that they get subjected to various acids and chemicals along the way, and then this is how they come out. So I've got an example of a jukebox pre-restoration next to it here, so you can get an idea of the condition they come into us. But even in that condition, they're worth a lot of money because these things are so scarce and so hard to get hold of. And we've got a fully equipped workshop we've got 2 salaried jukebox engineers now who are absolutely top of their game in restoring these things, and a whole raft of tradesmen who support them. So with the cabinets, for example, they're made of wood. They get stripped back and filled or repaired where necessary, and then we paint the back part of the cabinet black, which is in keeping with its original, the way they were originally made. And then we remake all of this green livery on the side with the chevrons. So I'm very bit of a stickler for that, to get them exactly the way they were done when they came out of the factory. Slightly different process in redoing it, but they look exactly the same. On the glass on the front, we try and use original glasses where we can, and with the glasses, they often pick up a lot of marks along the way, and we're very good at, we've got a great system. We've got these series of buffing wheels where we can actually buff the scratch out, and then we slowly decrease the coarseness of the wheel, so and then eventually apply polish to take out the very heavy marks. It's nice to have a couple of little dinks and dents in there just to give it some originality, so it's authentic. And we're always working with original parts. I mean, that's key to what we do. When we go through the mechanism, we don't do any cheats, we don't do any modifications to try and improve on the original design. These things were made to work in a commercial environment. They stood the test of time. These were made in 1958, and my guess is that a lot of them would have been running right up to the 80s, or certainly into the 70s. So they worked really hard and they were beautifully made. Very little sort of plastic on them or anything like that, proper engineered parts, and that's how we're able to restore them, because they've the quality of the materials used originally was very high, and it's just of its time really, much like a sort of classic car from that era. So yes, we go right the way through the whole mech, right the way through the whole selection system, often renewing much of the wiring. And one thing we do, which is very important when we're restoring these jukeboxes, is earth strapping. Safety runs at the core of what we do here. We don't simply buy a jukebox in and just try and tart it up, make it look good and sell it on. The whole idea of going through this is to make it future-proof it to some extent, and the earth strapping is key. And that's earth strapping across the whole jukebox, not just on the power supply. It's all these parts here. So if the jukebox, for whatever reason, ever went open circuit, it would just simply pop a fuse, much as it would you would expect from a modern appliance. That's the standard we're working to. And that guarantee, that warranty of our work, of our craftsmanship and the works we do is underpinned by our 1 year on-site parts and labour warranty. And you know, we have more than, as I mentioned earlier, more than one engineer working here. A lot of different tradesmen who support the workshops, that we can get out in a timely fashion and fix these things. And I mean, this particular model, I've actually sent our engineer on one occasion to Sydney in Australia to install one, along with a Vendo Coca-Cola machine, both from 1958, funny enough. And on another occasion, we sent an engineer to India. So we actually installed one of these in a town called Mussoorie. We installed an AMI-I and a Coke bar and a load of other equipment. We actually had an engineer there for a week putting it all together and setting it up and training somebody. But those are the exceptions, and they're great stories to tell and commissions to undertaken. But on the whole, they go into the UK, Europe, and we support these things: Channel Islands, Highlands of Scotland, Southern Europe. We've sold them everywhere, so we've made a bit of a name for ourselves on these particular jukeboxes. Anyway, sorry, going back to the restoration process. So if the speaker needs reconing, we do that. We've got a specialist amplifier engineer who works for us part-time, getting top of his game, just does amps and balancing and pairing the valves together. And he gives the amp a full bench strip to get the best sound possible from it, and that's obviously what it's all about. You know, you've got a vinyl playing jukebox, a valve amplifier, and it's that lovely earthy sound, you know, that we're trying to recreate and get absolutely spot on. So whole team of people. Actually, if you think about a restoration, it could be anything up to 5 or 6 different people involved in the process. And I'm often buying the jukeboxes and I'm selling them as well, along with my colleague Dawn. So yeah, in terms of the music, we also can offer that service. A lot of clients come to us with their own record selections, but we always do all the labels. So these are all printed out in typewriter font. If you'd like us to source the music for you, our quality control man, Phil, he also doubles up and does the music. So he's got 2 record dealers he works very closely with, and we keep a few thousand records in stock, all the popular stuff. So we can supply brand new records, or we can source stuff to order. So it's a full bespoke service. I mean, the important thing for me is to keep these things played and to get them absolutely as best as we possibly can. So I mean, the first thing is they get used, they get played, which keeps them reliable. And secondly, it's very good for our business, because we sell a lot from referrals, and that's very key to us, to have name and have us recommended to potential future clients. So there is definitely a business angle in it. I'm particularly fond of this box. I just think it's such a beautiful looking thing. I spend a lot of my time trying to source these things, and at the moment, as you can probably see from the video, I've got 4 here. This one is currently sold. This is the next one we're doing, and we've already got a potential order for them. So I've really only got 1 left, but I'm always looking for them, trying to find them around the US or in Europe. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my video, and please, if you'd like to listen to one, come down to the Gainsborough & Company in Weybridge, and I'll happily give you the tour and show you around one. Thank you very much.